what I'm hoping to do is to fill in some gaps. Like a lot of people didn't even know, like now we found out you're a school teacher before real estate.
Look, Tom, I was sacked from my first office. After my 3-month trial period had finished, she pulled me in and she said, look, with Tanya, you've listed 12 properties and that's outstanding, but you've not sold a single one. And unfortunately, you're behind on your retainer and you've got to go.
Okay, so that's exciting. So at the moment, if you're in real estate and you still got a job and you're not doing well, you're still not sacked, which is encouraging because you're watching someone here that did get sacked. Today, she is one of the best female operators, top 50 REB. Your top 50 REB for last year?
Oh, last 5 years, I think.
Okay. And can I ask you, the adversity you'd had, was it a health, financial issue, family issue, or is it something that we...
Just as I guess, a very brief history without going too deep into it. I was sacked from my first real estate office. The director that owned we were a part of a franchise group. So the neighbouring office to us was the #1 office. As soon as he heard that I was no longer there, he rang me and he said, look, Tanya, if you've listed 12 properties in 3 months from a standing start, I believe you've got a bit of ability. So I'd like to train you, take you under my wing and get you restarted back into your career. Not long after that, I fell pregnant with my son, went off, had maternity leave for 6 months, came back into real estate and very quickly progressed. So I became a sales manager, general manager, and then I was a shareholder amongst 4 offices. That partnership ended in a fairly nasty way. Look, and I'm not going to get into it because all 3 of us as shareholders have our version of what happened. Unfortunately, it went pear-shaped and we all dealt with the loss of our business in very, very different ways. I became, I was drinking very, very heavily. In fact, became an alcoholic and I lost my license for drink driving. So not only had I lost my business, I needed to start back from square one. I rang Stavros, who you introduced to people a couple of moments ago, and I said to him, mate, I need a job. P.S. I actually don't have a driver's license and I'm in a really, really dark, deep place. And that's what Darren Hutchins was referring to. Now, that was 10 years into my real estate career. Most people at their 10-year mark are driving fancy cars, going on international holidays, writing at least $1 million in GCI. At my 10-year mark, I was driving my fancy car around on a windy day looking for a tree to fall on top of it because I could not afford the repayments. So that is my real estate history, and it's not a good one.
Okay, it's not a good one, but you've just proven that a comeback can be bigger than a setback. And you've actually just proven, you said to me off air that you can relate to that term that I often refer to is some of the best gifts in life come badly wrapped. I mean, at the end of the day, the truth is the events that have happened to you have probably shaped you as a more resilient, compassionate, far more educated. You will check things out a lot more. Probably a more grateful person. But I think the reason I wanted to start with this is I believe, Tanya, that one of the most important things that most real estate girls and guys need is proof points that it doesn't matter where you are right now. The past does not have to equal the future. You can actually, and you've changed the course and direction of your life a decade down the track in real estate,
One of the questions that just popped up then, somebody asked what turned me around, and it was one simple sentence, and that is that I didn't want my past to be bigger than my future. And that's what I had written down on my desk. It was when I first started here at O'Brien Real Estate, I wrote down, I did not want my past to be bigger than my future. And I had a pretty big past. One of the offices that I had was the #1 office for our franchise group in Victoria. I had 20 sales consultants that worked for me. There were 1,700 properties under management. This wasn't a little backyard office. This was a big multi-million-dollar office, and I lost everything. Mentally, I was not in a good place. Physically, I was not in a good place. Financially, I was not in a good place, and I simply didn't even know where to start or what to do. And the first phone call was to the guys at O'Brien. Darren mentioned before we spoke about my son's education, but the one question that Darren Hutchins asked me was, what is important to you, or what are you worried about? And I said, you know what, out of everything that's happening to me right here, right now, the one thing I'm worried about is my son. I don't want to tell an 8-year-old that he needs to leave his friends and that I have to take him out of that fancy school because I can't afford it and I made a mistake. You know, and Darren said to me, he goes, Nevo, you will never, ever have to take your son out of that school. We're going to look after you.
Okay. That, my friends, that is priceless. That if something matters to you, and I call them money dials, and that is that you'll do anything you can to get money because this thing is deep inside your heart. For some people, it's a sports car. For some people, it's travel. For you, it was education. Yeah. And I know, listen, I know the feeling. There've been at least 2 or 3 times in my daughter's lives where they have had kids after the school break not come back. Yeah. And it's because there's been a redundancy, this and that. And listen, I mean, I look at the sadness in my daughters when they know that they don't have this friend, but I think to myself, what about the actual kid? What about the actual kid that all of a sudden has been taken out of that environment?
It's given you a test drive of Real Estate Gym. Let me tell you, if you're a subscriber and a member of the gym, you'll be getting videos from our co-coaches all the time. You'll be getting mentors, you'll be getting scripts, you'll be getting dialogues, you'll be getting templates, and most importantly, My Prospector, your personal accountability system to make more calls, get more appointments, get more listings. From around $10 per week, realestategym.com.au, your personal coach.